Below is an extended, uninterrupted narrative that weaves together intrigue, passion, and heartache in a suspenseful love drama set within the halls of a seemingly ordinary school. Enjoy the immersive storytelling that pulls you deep into a world where secrets hide behind every door, and forbidden love threatens to shatter lives. In a quiet town where everyone knew everyone, the local school had long been a sanctuary of learning and community pride. The corridors, bathed in soft morning light and echoing with the sound of children's laughter, concealed stories far beyond textbooks and classrooms. Among these hidden narratives was the tale of a respected school teacher named Eleanor, a woman whose quiet demeanor and impeccable reputation masked a tumultuous inner life. Beneath the surface of her well-organized days and routine lessons, a secret passion simmered, a dangerous liaison that defied the very order of her life. Eleanor's husband, Harold, was a kind, unassuming man whose love for his wife was evident in every gentle gesture and soft-spoken word. Yet beneath Harold's warm exterior lay a man oblivious to the dark undercurrents swirling just beyond the reach of his everyday world. Eleanor, once a devoted partner, had grown restless, feeling confined by the predictable rhythm of her marital life. The spark that had once ignited her passion for Harold had dimmed over the years, leaving her yearning for excitement, validation, and a glimpse of forbidden freedom. It was in the quiet moments before dawn, when the school was empty and the halls echoed with the silence of anticipation, that Eleanor's heart began to race anew. Among the staff, there was another soul whose presence was as unassuming as it was magnetic. Raphael was the school's dedicated cleaner, a man of few words and steady hands whose quiet dignity and rugged charm captured the attention of those who noticed the small details of life. Raphael's role was simple, to maintain the order and cleanliness of the school, but his eyes observed much more than dust and routine. He had an intuitive sense for the unspoken sorrows and unfulfilled desires that lingered in the air, and it was this sensitive soul that first noticed the subtle cracks in Eleanor's carefully constructed facade. At first, their interactions were nothing more than polite nods in the early morning hours and brief, respectful conversations about the day's work. But as days turned into weeks, an unspoken understanding began to blossom between them. Raphael's quiet empathy and steadfast presence resonated with Eleanor's hidden longing for something genuine and profound. Their eyes would meet in silent acknowledgement, a spark passing between them that neither could ignore. It wasn't long before clandestine meetings began to occur behind locked doors and empty classrooms. In the stillness of night, away from prying eyes and the demands of their respective roles, Eleanor and Raphael discovered a passion that both startled and thrilled them. The affair was not born out of mere physical attraction, but a complex tapestry of emotions. For Eleanor, every encounter with Raphael was a rebellion against the mundane, a defiant step away from a life that had grown too predictable. In Raphael, she found the kind of raw honesty that she had longed for, but never truly experienced. A man unafraid to live his truth, even if it meant enduring whispers and judgment from a society that expected him to be nothing more than a background figure. Their meetings were charged with a heady mix of excitement and guilt, as if the very air they breathed was laced with both the thrill of desire and the bitter taste of betrayal. Within the walls of the school, every shadow, every creaking floorboard, and every glimmer of light became an accomplice to their secret rendezvous. They arranged their meetings with the precision of clockwork, always careful to avoid the vigilant eyes of colleagues and students alike. Even as Eleanor meticulously planned her lessons by day, her mind was haunted by the memories of stolen moments with Raphael. The smell of chalk dust and the soft rustle of pages turning in her classroom could suddenly transform into a trigger, sending her heart into a flutter of anticipation and guilt. Yet, as with all secrets that begin to fester, the truth began to seep into the spaces between routine and reality. Rumors whispered their way through the school's grapevine, subtle at first, then more insistent. A misplaced glance here, a hushed conversation there. Soon enough, Questions were being raised in the quiet corners of the staff room. Eleanor found herself walking a tightrope between two worlds, one of societal expectations and a life of fidelity, and another of raw, unfiltered passion that defied convention. With each stolen glance and furtive meeting, her double life grew more precarious, and the weight of her secret pressed down on her like an ever-present shadow. The suspense of discovery loomed large over every step Eleanor took. Late one autumn evening, as amber leaves danced outside the rain-streaked windows of the empty school, she and Raphael met in a secluded classroom behind closed blinds. The room, usually reserved for after-school tutoring sessions, had transformed into a clandestine haven where every whispered word was a promise and every touch an act of defiance. Their conversation, laced with both longing and trepidation, revealed not only the depth of their feelings, but also the inevitable consequences of their actions. They spoke of risk, of the fragile line between liberation and ruin, and of the possibility that this affair might either lead to a new beginning or the total collapse of everything they held dear. As days passed, the tension grew palpable, infecting every corner of the school. A routine inspection by the principal, an unexpected visit by a concerned colleague, and even the watchful eyes of curious students added layers of danger to their secret tryst. Eleanor's internal struggle became a battle between duty and desire, a torment that left her sleepless and torn. She began to question everything she had ever known about love and loyalty. The once blurred lines between right and wrong became starkly defined in the mirror of her own conscience. In moments of solitude, she would stare at her reflection and wonder if she had traded the comfort of security for a passion that, though intoxicating, was doomed from the start. Raphael, too, was not immune to the emotional maelstrom that their affair had unleashed. With every encounter, he felt both uplifted by the intensity of their connection and weighed down by the knowledge that their secret could shatter the delicate balance of his simple, hard-working life. The dichotomy of his existence, the unremarkable role of a cleaner and the exhilarating embrace of forbidden love, tore at his sense of identity. Yet in the quiet hours of the early morning, as he scrubbed floors and mopped hallways, his mind would drift to memories of Eleanor's soft laughter and the way her eyes sparkled with untamed passion. Those recollections offered solace amidst the daily drudgery and whispered of a possibility that life might hold more than what was dictated by fate. As the tension mounted, so did the risks. One fateful day, a sharp-eyed janitor noticed an anomaly, a set of footsteps that did not match the usual rhythm of the night shift, a discreet meeting that took place in the quiet hours of the school's empty corridors. The janitor's curiosity led him to discreetly follow a trail of hints and murmurs, gathering fragments of the truth like pieces of a dangerous puzzle. The discovery of whispered conversations, secretive glances, and unexplained absences soon ignited a firestorm of suspicion among the staff. Rumors grew like wildfire, each new revelation adding fuel to a blaze that threatened to engulf the reputation of the school and everyone connected to it. Under mounting pressure, Eleanor felt the walls closing in around her. Every smile that greeted her in the hallway now felt like a veiled judgment, every nod of acknowledgement a silent accusation. The very institution that had once been a safe haven now loomed as a prison of her own making. Yet even as the net tightened, her desire for Raphael and for the freedom he represented grew more insistent, more defiant. Their love, born in the shadows, was both a balm and a curse, offering her a glimpse of liberation while chaining her to the specter of inevitable downfall. The unfolding drama reached a fevered pitch during one overcast afternoon when an unexpected confrontation shattered the fragile equilibrium of Eleanor's world. Harold, whose intuition had long been dulled by routine, finally sensed that something was amiss. A casual remark overheard in passing, a fleeting look that lingered too long. Small details coalesced into a painful realization. Confrontation was inevitable, and as Harold's suspicions came to a head, the tension in the household was palpable. In a moment of raw vulnerability, Harold confronted Eleanor, his voice trembling with both anger and sorrow. The ensuing confrontation was a maelstrom of accusations, confessions, and bitter regrets that left every word hanging in the air like shattered glass. In the aftermath, the school became the stage for an emotional showdown that rippled outwards, touching the lives of students, teachers, and staff alike. Eleanor found herself at the center of a storm that threatened to consume not only her private world, but also the collective trust of a community that had once revered her. The lines between right and wrong blurred as everyone grappled with the consequences of a love that had dared to defy convention. With every passing day, the tension escalated. Rumors were replaced by whispers of scandal, and the once quiet corridors became charged with a palpable mix of sympathy, betrayal, and indignation. In the midst of this chaos, Raphael emerged as both a confidant and a reluctant symbol of rebellion. His quiet strength and steadfast commitment to the truth lent a new dimension to the unfolding drama. Even as he struggled with the knowledge that his actions had ignited a conflagration of heartache, he remained resolute in his belief that love, however forbidden, could not be suppressed. The world around him was changing, and with each stolen moment with Eleanor, he fought against the tide of societal expectation and the forces that sought to define him solely by his occupation. Days melted into nights as the school's corridors bore silent witness to clandestine meetings, tearful confessions, and the slow, painful unraveling of lives built on half-truths. Every whispered conversation and furtive glance carried the weight of impending reckoning, a reminder that secrets, no matter how carefully concealed, have a way of emerging from the shadows. Eleanor's inner torment was mirrored in the eyes of those who had once looked up to her as a paragon of virtue. The community, now divided between empathy for a woman in torment and the indignation of a betrayed husband, was forced to confront uncomfortable questions about desire, duty, and the cost of living authentically. As the seasons shifted, so too did the balance of power in this tangled web of love and betrayal. A final, fateful encounter in the dead of night brought everything to a head, a moment when the full magnitude of their actions was laid bare under the indifferent gaze of the stars. In a silent classroom, lit only by the cold light of a single lamp, Eleanor and Raphael faced the stark reality of the choices they had made. Their words, laced with both desperation and resolve, reverberated off the walls, echoing the pain of a love that was as beautiful as it was doomed. In that fraught moment, the truth of their existence, raw, unfiltered, and irrevocable, was laid out before them, demanding that they choose between the comfort of familiar chains and the perilous freedom of a life lived on their own terms. In the aftermath of that night, the school and its inhabitants were forever changed. The scandal that erupted was not just a tale of betrayal, but a profound exploration of the human heart, a reminder that love, in all its forms, is a force both transformative and destructive. Eleanor, once a pillar of the community, was now a living embodiment of the eternal conflict between duty and desire. Harold, shattered by the revelation, was forced to confront the painful reality that even the truest of hearts can harbor secrets too heavy to bear. And Raphael, the quiet cleaner whose presence had illuminated the hidden corners of a stifled existence, emerged as a symbol of defiance against a world that demanded conformity at the expense of passion. Over time, as the initial shock subsided and life resumed its measured pace, the events that had rocked the school slowly transformed into a cautionary tale, a narrative woven into the fabric of the community's collective memory. The story of Eleanor and Raphael, with its bittersweet blend of longing and loss, serve as a mirror reflecting the complexities of human emotion. It was a tale that challenged conventional notions of right and wrong, urging those who heard it to look beyond the surface and acknowledge the messy, unpredictable beauty of the heart's desires. In hushed tones, teachers and students alike recounted the affair as though it were a myth, a legend that had once flickered in the corridors of their school. And while time had a way of softening even the sharpest memories, the legacy of that forbidden love continued to reverberate in every corner of the building. Every time a new teacher arrived or a new student took their first steps in the brightly lit hallways, there was a subtle reminder of the past, a reminder that beneath the veneer of order and routine, the human heart could never be tamed. The love drama of Eleanor and Raphael transcended the boundaries of a simple scandal. It became an enduring testament to the transformative power of passion and the enduring conflict between societal expectation and the unbridled call of the heart. As the town moved forward and the school once again became a place of learning and growth, the memory of that tumultuous period served as a silent guide, a reminder that every life is a tapestry of contradictions, and that sometimes the most forbidden of loves can leave an indelible mark on the soul. Even as years passed and the wounds of betrayal slowly healed, the whispers of that long-ago affair continued to float in the corridors. New generations, unaware of the details but touched by the lingering aura of mystery, would sometimes pause in their busy day to wonder about the legacy of those who had dared to love against the odds. In a world that prized conformity and certainty, the story of Eleanor and Raphael remained a beacon of rebellion, a call to listen to the quiet urgings of the heart, no matter how dangerous the path might seem. Their story was not one of simple passion or careless infidelity. It was a deeply human exploration of the complexities of love, where every secret shared was both an act of liberation and a step toward inevitable heartbreak. And so, as the twilight of that unforgettable period merged with the dawning light of new beginnings, the school remained a silent witness to the truth that every life is layered with hidden depths. The passion that once burned brightly in clandestine meetings and whispered promises had etched itself into the very walls of the building, a permanent reminder that even in the most ordinary places, extraordinary stories can flourish. In that quiet town, beneath the gentle hum of daily routines, the legacy of Eleanor and Raphael's forbidden love continued to inspire, challenge, and ultimately remind everyone that the heart's secrets, once set free, have the power to change the course of history. Their tale, a riveting blend of desire, betrayal, and redemption, endured not merely as a scandal of the past, but as a living narrative that beckoned future generations to question, to love, and to live with unreserved authenticity. In the end, it was the profound courage to embrace one's true self, even in the face of overwhelming odds, that transformed a hidden affair into a timeless saga of the human spirit.